Alright, so at the girlfriend's house today, we are making a floating dock with plastic barrels, 55-gallon barrels. This is basically going to be the top of the dock, 10 foot by 10 foot. We're going to float it with 6 barrels. You only need 4, but we're going to float 6. And yeah, I just wanted to lay it out and see like a footprint. I'll show you what we're going to do. And I'll include a picture of how we're building it. I'm cutting these 4x4s here, 7 1/4 inches to go in the corners, you'll see. Alright, so we're going to repeat this step 4 times and get 4 of these. Alright, that's it for the corner supports. Alright, these are 2x8 treated boards. These are going to be the framework. So everything's treated, lumber. And yeah, we're cutting these. These are going to be the end boards. They're going to be cut at 10 foot. Exactly 10 foot. So basically this is it built upside down. We got our frame. These boards on both sides are 9 foot 9 inches, and then those boards are 10 foot. Those 4x4s are going to go in the corner. We're going to run lags in them, as well as nails or screws through the outside into this board, but we're also going to lag both boards into those 4x4s just to add some strength. So that's the first thing we're gonna do. We're gonna get it all pre-drilled and put together, but it's gonna be assembled down by the water because it's gonna get too heavy for us to move down there. So basically that's what we're looking at. Alright, so what I'm using here, I'm using a spade bit. So when we put these lag bolts in, they're going to be countersunk and not sticking out of the board. I want them countersunk in the board, and you got to go a little oversized so you can get your socket in the hole. And that's going into the 4x4 for extra strength. Drill the size of your lag shank in the middle of that. Dog wants to be involved too. Say hi, pup. You drill the middle of this. There's already a pilot. That all look good up there? Alright, then we can run our lag in. Alright, and we'll do that. Two in this side, 2 in this side on all 4 corners. I don't have my impact driver for these to make everything a little bit faster. And being that these are so long, you want to make sure that the ones you drill on the opposite side aren't in the same location, so they don't interfere with each other. Another one. And then you'll get a flush, nice look like this, instead of having the bolt head stick out. Because so many people are going to be back at this pond to view this. Because we are going to be disassembling and reassembling, I'm going to label everything on the top side. So I'm going to put a 1, 1, 1, 1. And then I'm gonna, over here, I'm gonna put 2, 4, 4. So when we put it together down there, everything will be way easier to remember where it goes. The dog's working hard, as you can see. That's what we're looking at there. I ran a couple of them in a little deep to countersink, but.
Okay, hello. Today we are working on our deck.
Dock.
So we have been cutting the boards to fit, so we can put the barrel in, basically, that which will float the dock.
So we're gonna have 2 supports like this at 15 inches to support the barrel.
Yeah.
In 3 places, 6 barrels. So here's the middle one, and we have one more to put over here. 15-inch space, and then we're gonna secure them to the boards with hurricane ties.
Yeah.
Which is coming up. So we have a couple more cuts to make, and then we'll put a cross member across this way at the end of the barrel to hold them in place, one on each side.
Okay.
Mason, what the heck, dude?
So,
No! Just cut me.
Sorry. I thought you were
Get up here close to me and hold that board tight. Hold it against you and push down on it, dog. Move.
gonna...
Yep. Okay. Push it down in. Okay.
Let's go.
Alright, so this one's temporary tacked in place. I still have some screws I gotta put in the 2x4s. But I'm using the hurricane ties on all the boards. You don't have to, but I chose to. And then the barrel's gonna sit down in. Those are spaced at 15 inches. There's gonna be a barrel on this side, a barrel on that side. And the deck boards underneath are just here for a reference. They're actually going to go on top of this, but on the bottom, this is the top. On the bottom, I'm going to run at 38 inches parallel board, or not parallel, but perpendicular board to kind of trap the barrel in place, and you'll see that. But it's going to look like that. 15 inches is pretty good. Alright, so this is pretty much put together, and we are going to take it apart, transport it down to the pond, reconstruct it. So in doing that, I number all the pieces of lumber, the corners. So like, say this is 10, I'll put a 10 here and a 10 here, and on the other side say it's 20 and 20. Everything will be a different number. It's what we do a lot in aviation maintenance. So everything will have its own number, so when we put it back together, everything matches up. And I'll put all the numbers on the top, so the top side of the wood. So this deck right now, it's just laying under there. It's actually going to be on top of this. This is the top you're looking at. That decking's just laying underneath it, just so I had a footprint. 10 by 10. The barrels are going to sit underneath on the underside of these, but they're going to sit on those. Those are spaced at 15-inch centers. And then this bracket here, or piece of wood going across there and there, will trap the help trap the barrels underneath. They'll fit inside of here underneath. I used hurricane ties. You don't have to do that. You could just run screws through the boards, but I'm trying to stiffen it up and make it last. So we got hurricane ties on. Those ones are upside down, I know, but it's just the way it works. So with a 2x8 border, The two 2x4s fit inside of it perfectly, if that makes sense. And then I also got, once we get down there, I'm not putting them on now because I got to take this apart, these like cross ties. So I'll put these on to stiffen everything up also, like so. But you'll see that when we assemble it down at the water. So basically, it's ready. I'm going to take it apart, put it on the trailer, and haul it down to the pond. Alright, so the girlfriend's sleeping, so I decided just to do a voiceover instead of narrating this. Using all-purpose silicone in the caulking gun. It's weatherproof, cures in 24 hours. Pretty good stuff. So first thing I'm going to do is dry everything up, clean it up, and then you'll see here take the silicone, I put a bead in the bottom, and then I put silicone on the cap threads, threaded it down in, tightened it up. And then I took another bead of silicone around the outside, and I let them all cure for 24 hours, doing this on both sides, and it's good to go. Alright, so we got the dock back together, numbered everything. All the boards were numbered because we, of course, had it put together and cut everything in the garage. I used hurricane ties because hurricane ties are cheap, and just to add a little structure to it. Hopefully it lasts a long time and we don't have to mess with it. So we used hurricane ties on all the 2x4s, and then we used these other hurricane ties out here just to give it some strength on the supports. So hurricane ties everywhere, 4x4s in the corner, and lag bolts into them. So it's all put together now. We're going to put the barrels underneath it, tie a rope them to the 2x4s. They're going to sit in these channels in between those 2x4s you'll see in a minute, and we'll tie them with a rope, get them nice and tight. We already siliconed them, and then we'll float the dock, put it in halfway, and then start putting the deck boards on. So it's pretty simple. It didn't take us very long, maybe 45 minutes to an hour to reassemble this down here. The hurricane ties took a little extra time to put on, but it's coming along nice. This pond's deeper, so this is better for swimming and everything, and it's the first one you come to. There's another pond up over there that's a little bit larger, but it's not as deep. So here it is with the barrels underneath it, 6 barrels. We tied knots, made holes through the 2x4s. The 2x4s are spaced at 15 inches, and now we're ready to pretty much start floating half of it and put the deck boards on the top, securing them to get all the 2x4s. And then I'm going to put 2 4x4 posts in the ground on the bank here and connect it to it with quick disconnect like carabiners, so we can disconnect it and you could float it out into the middle if you wanted to. Alright, so the deck boards are just laid on here. They're going to come back off. We were just laying it on there to see what we need to do and space it and make sure we got all the straight deck boards. So it looks pretty good. we're gonna float half of it and start screwing them down.
Don't move your cup.
Watch yourself. Get the cup off of there. I just moved all that off of there. Well, we gotta still pull back here. A little bit more. A little bit more. Alright, so it's getting dark. It's probably, the video is probably grainy at this point even. We got it floating, and we're just securing the deck boards. And yeah, probably won't get any more video until tomorrow of it. Just gonna finish putting on the top, and then I gotta put 2 posts in the ground back on the shore and secure it to where we can disconnect it. Go ahead, Jude, jump with him and call him.
Oh, come on. Uh-oh.
Mason, get back.
God save this baby.
Good job.
Don't shake on me, Cole.
Good cast. Nice job. That'll catch you a fish. Reel it in. Alright, so the dock's pretty much finished. We gotta put a 3-inch board on the end. We're either gonna have to rip one or find a treated like 1x3 if they make them. They're already using it. The kids were jumping in off of it. I'm gonna secure it to the bank here. I got one more system. I'm gonna put 4x4s in the ground just outside of the dock. Alright, thanks for watching.